Okay, hey, I'm Michael Pare. You might remember me from Bad Moon. Well, I'm starring in a new movie called Mayday, and you're watching The 13th Wolfman.
Hey everybody, I'm the 13th Wolfman. You know how I'm with me today, man. This is a big one. This is a good one. This is hey, I got Max Cerchi. He's back with his movie Mayday, but he brought along a friend. And if you guys were around in the 80s, you'll know. Well, he's still around today. I'm not trying to, but he was big. Eddie Wilson from Eddie and the Cruisers. Michael Pare. Welcome to Sit Down, man.
Wolfman, hey, how you doing, man?
I'm doing good. I, I dude, that's one of my all-time favorite movies, Eddie and the Cruisers. I saw it I don't know how many times in the theater and reruns on cable. So that's a big one for me.
Well, I'm glad you enjoyed it. We had a lot of fun making that. I was only a kid. I think I was like 23 years old when I shot that.
Yeah, it was on just the other night too, and I had to go to bed early because I had to do an early morning show with these guys. But I was like, man, I'm gonna watch like the first half hour. You know,
Yeah.
it's it's always a good time. Great music too. That's the thing that got me about that movie, is that I had never heard of John Cafferty and the Beaver Brown Band until that movie came out. But his voice and your voice sound so similar that they got away with you lip syncing. You know?
Yeah, well, I think a lot of it has to do with it's not so much the quality of the voice, it's the attitude, because John never sang opera and he never sang a cappella, you know, so it really just, an attitude, the way they talk, and they all want to be kind of a little bit like Bruce and, it's not a hard thing to do.
It's still, man. I just thought the two voices meshed so well. That's what sold me. And then I was like, he's not singing? What?
Actually, Michael sings very well. We have some behind the scene on Mayday where he was singing a couple of cool songs. So
Yeah, we were having fun on Mayday. Mayday was a lot of fun to shoot, Max. What was great is we shot all in the same like studio. So every day you drive up, you go in. It was like a regular job. It was,
yeah,
yeah, right. Go in, get on the airplane, and do the stuff, and it was a very nice way to work.
Eat some food, then do some
Yeah.
dance. So it was good. No, it was really good. It was really good.
So let's talk a little bit about Mayday, Max. Last time you were on, you guys were just getting geared up and ready to shoot it. And how are things going, man?
Was actually Mayday is coming very well. I saw the rough cut a couple of weeks ago. Looks like a couple of $1 million movie, thanks to Michael Pare. We're just waiting for the VFX right now, and then it's ready to be sold at the American film market in November 1st to the 8th. I have my distributor breathing on my neck. If they're looking at this, I'm sorry. We're still waiting for the VFX. And then the movie will be ready. The music are done. The atmosphere, the sound, everything is ready. Just need the VFX. And it will be, we have also a nice poster. And it will be ready, I think, by first or second week of October. Give it or take.
What date is the American film market, Max?
November 1st to the 8th.
We
can go there together. I'll be there.
Yeah,
so
of course.
We can go there. Perfect.
So, Michael, I know that Max is a great guy and all that, but how did you get how did he approach you to make this movie?
Well, we have a mutual friend, Jim Wynorski, and Max.
I know Jim.
Jim is one of my favorite guys. We have another movie we're shooting early October, which is why I keep saying, Max, we got to get ready for the Western, because I missed it. I missed the other one, Doggone Mystery, because we were shooting. And now he's got another one, Your Dog's an Angel. And so Max and Jim are buddies. And I guess Max asked Jim if he knew anybody that would be easy to work with and would be on time and had a certain market value.
Yeah, give me another name. I'm joking.
Yeah. Marlon Brando died. You couldn't get him.
Tom Berenger. No.
Tom, yeah. It's a funny thing. Tom Berenger, John Cafferty, and me all had the same heritage. But Tom and I also, both our dads were printers, and they both died of leukemia. He was French Canadian and Irish, and John Cafferty is French, Canadian, and Irish. No, a little bit of trivia there.
Something that, as was meant to be.
Yeah.
So you're going to say something that nobody cares about.
That's actually pretty interesting.
Oh, something is meant to be. When join forces and things happen for a reason.
Tom and I should have played brothers, and maybe it's not too late. Someone will come along and we'll play brothers.
If he comes for free or for cheap, I'll put in Mayday too. This time is 2.
Michael, making movies as long as you have and TV, it's like, are there any roles that you find that you look back on with more fondness than others?
Well, I played a lot of heroic things where I rescue somebody, and that's all right. I mean, it's a straight. Well, if that's the role, there's got to be a lot of action. There's got to be a lot of gunplay. There's got to be bombs. There's got to be crashes. So that's a certain kind of movie. The human psyche is very complex, and because I've been doing this so long, and I still study and try to figure out why people do what they do. But that's really not a very marketable character. If someone comes along with that, I'll jump at it. But, I like to do movies that are going to impact the biggest audience possible. You know what I mean?
Yeah. No.
More interesting is the more complex the character that has more conflict, which creates more drama, is exciting.
That makes sense.
Yeah.
No, that makes a lot of sense. Do you like one genre over another? I mean, I love horror. I don't know if you really. Max loves horror. Max also likes Star Wars. You can see in the background.
Right. Well, the 3 most popular genres are horror, action, and suspense. Right.
Correct.
Is it suspense or?
Correct.
Suspense.
Thriller. Yes.
Thriller, that's it. Horror, action, thriller. So those are all very interesting, but I've been doing it for it's going on 38 years. So the stuff that I do, like at the Actors Studio, would never sell in a movie. So that's where I get to explore that stuff. So when it comes to making movies or television, I want to do the ones that sell. And the distributors pretty much, that's their call, because they're dealing with the theaters or the video channels or the cable channels, and they know people say we want to see these kind of movies, and I want to be in the kind of movies that the most people are going to want to watch.
Exactly.
Makes sense to me. Yeah.
When I got approached about Mayday, they asked me what was the movie about. It's an action with suspense in it. So it's great, we'll take it. So okay, let me shoot it first.
Action with suspense and horror.
Yes, actually, yes. And then they said, okay, we want the movie right away. So that was good. We signed a distribution contract, even before we start shooting the movie. So that made the executive producer at ease, and was good for everybody involved in the movie, crew, cast, and investors.
Now you got one of your actresses on board because of the Wicked Horror Show.
Absolutely, Chanel Ryan. Absolutely.
Chanel Ryan.
Yeah.
She's Max's favorite, I think.
Yeah, she is. Actually, I was looking for her for a year because I wanted another movie, and when I saw her on the Dorkening, I was like, finally, now I will bother her live. And thanks to Leo and the Wolfman, I was able to get the phone number, and we start working together now with Mayday, and the next movie coming out, it's a Western with Michael, of course, and we'll have lots of fun.
Be in the Western also?
Yes, sir.
So that's Crystal, Chanel, Scott, and me, and
yes. And Vincent.
Bishop. Bishop.
Yes. The usual crew.
Yeah,
really. Usual suspects. Yeah.
The usual suspect. I'm very loyal, so I like to work always with the same people. And when people tell me, like Jim, when people tell me, hey, use always the same people. Why? Because they're good.
A lot of actors did that, man. Directors did that. Carpenter, for one, he had a stable that he used all the time.
Stable. There we go. Talking props. All right.
Yeah. So you want to give everyone that's watching an idea of what Mayday is about, Max? Like a quick synopsis?
Sure. Mayday is the story of Air Marshal and with the help of two stewardess taking care of something strange in the plane. Something is happening. People are disappearing every time the lights flicker, so they don't know what's going on. So, thanks to them, they will find out the truth. Or will they?
Yeah.
Or will they?
Or will they?
And then Sam Jackson jumps up and says, "I'm on this plane." No,
this motherfucker.
No, I love it when I like it when a movie is confined to a single space.
Me too.
It takes a lot of talent to make that one area interesting for an hour and a half.
It's true. I prefer actually using one set because it's easier for cast and crew. We don't have to get crazy, driving around different set, different location. It's raining. We can shoot now. Now we have this problem. Well, while you're on just one set, everything is easy. Like Michael Pare exactly said, you like a regular job. You go there, you have your coffee in the morning, and you go in the office, and you do your 12 hours, and then you drive back home. So,
Max, how come your picture is so much bigger than mine?
I have a bigger head.
He's probably on a PC.
I am on a PC.
Yeah.
Uh-huh. Good.
I have horizontal screen while you have vertical screen.
Right.
What else? That's pretty much it. So movies coming out soon.
You're gonna have Billy Cat come on. You said.
Me?
No. Wolfman and Leo said Billy Cat's coming on.
Oh no. What?
In the intro,
yeah.
It's pre-recorded.
Leo met William Catt at a con a while back, and he had William Catt do an intro for the show, and so.
Okay.
Tomorrow when it's online, we can watch it.
Well, an air marshal. That was the first time I played an air marshal, and I didn't get and being an air marshal, you don't get to use your gun. Because you're afraid of puncturing the airplane, and it was kind of challenging to figure out how was I going to deal with the villain if I can't use my gun. It was kind of a fun thing to do because, as soon as you draw your gun, you're in control, but I can't draw my gun. So I'm out of control really the whole movie.
But if the gun's unloaded and the gun's unloaded, but the bad guy doesn't know, you're still in control. So you can still draw your gun.
Yeah. But if he challenges, if the villain forces you to pull the trigger and it's empty, then you're
screwed.
Absolutely.
That's true. Yeah, he's calling your bluff. I get that, but
right.
it was all a mental fight, So
it's all that mental chess thing.
Exactly. But you have to watch the movie to see.
Music and visual effects will be a big part of the movie, because the plane goes through all kinds of turbulence and stuff happens to the plane. It's not just the people on board that are threatened. We're threatened by, just by being in an aluminum tube at 30,000 feet. Isn't that how high? Or 10,000 feet? How high do planes fly these days? 30,000, right?
30,000, 40,000. When you smell a lot of feet, that's, more,
then you're really high. Yeah. That's funny, Max.
It's the kind of stupidity.
Oh, my God, I must smell up there.
That's the kind of stupidity we were telling on a plane,
Right.
30,000 feet. I was smelling something. No, but we had a lot of fun, so it was good.
Yeah.
Yeah. So you're saying that it was you're talking about visual effects.
Yes, they are working on it. Delivery date supposed to be due by end of September. So that's why I say by mid-October the movie's ready because I already know.
I asked about the name, the Dorkening, because these IT guys, they live at a different speed. They're in a completely different dimension. It's, you realize that they're sitting staring at a computer screen for 60 hours a week and, eating Hot Pockets and stuff like that. And they just don't, they're just at they're at 45 and most people live at 33. And, Yet if you slow them down, they just don't do anything.
Ain't that the truth? No, is this the kind of movie that you could get away with like a poor man's process when it came to effects?
Such as?
No, looking out the poor man's process. I did that a lot early in my career. Nobody does that anymore. But looking out the airplane window, I mean, that was
Yeah,
on Twilight Zone.
yeah.
And
Where
everything
you,
happens inside the plane and in
Yes.
another dimension.
Yes. Everything is inside the plane. I was lucky that we had 737, and we got a very good rate. So the movie looks like a couple of $1 million. So it's really good. It's really good.
Yeah, and I learned a lot of things about airplanes that you didn't know.
How
Like
to
when-
land.
No, when the bathroom says occupied, you can move that little thing and open the door.
From the
so-
outside.
yeah,
So,
well,
from the outside. So next time
Yeah.
you're on a plane and you really got to go, you can open the door.
I'm not so. Yeah, I'm not surprised that they can open it from the outside. I mean, there's got to be a way to get in case somebody accidentally locks themselves in there and they
Yeah.
can't get out.
You lift the non-smoking thing, and there is a
Yeah,
little
but we
lever.
never knew. Now we know. You see, you learn something on every movie.
What else did you learn, Michael?
Well, you learn something. You don't learn everything, but you learn
Okay.
something on everything. And I
Bits.
learned how to open the bathroom door from the outside.
You learn also to close real plane doors, which is another
Yeah.
thing that we learned. So,
Yeah,
that was good.
Sadie
That
Katz.
was good.
Sadie
Yes.
Katz is good at that.
Yes, very good at closing the door, opening the door. I hire her
She
for
looked
that.
like the classic stewardess in the trailer that you made early on in production.
Yes.
No. Hi, fly me to Seattle.
Yeah, there you go. I
I'm
think
Sadie.
Katz
Fly
in
me to Seattle. Right?
The exit is this part.
Yeah.
That was good.
That's the same class that they give to those guys, the air traffic controllers on the ground.
So
That
they get
direct
the
the airplane.
flashlights.
Right. Flashlights. So they could work on the ground crew or they could be stewardesses. And it's a very proactive thing that they're doing.
Very
'Cause
proactive thing. Yeah.
if one crew is on strike, they can hire the other.
There you go.
Exactly. Just do with the hands,
We've just rearranged the entire union system for flight attendants and ground crew.
There we go.
Well, now that Donald Trump made air traffic controllers a private industry, anything can happen now.
Exactly. But we had a lot of fun on Mayday. So,
It sounds like a blast. Michael, what was one of your favorite scenes making this movie? If you could talk about it.
There was a really fun aspect of the production because, you're inside a plane and you know how crowded a plane is, right?
Yeah.
You stand up, you touch the ceiling and it's a crowded thing. And Max had this sound guy who was like 6'5". He was like a giant fucking grizzly bear. And, and he had hands like he was wearing a baseball glove. So when he was trying to put the microphone on you and trying to sneak around, it was really funny. It was really funny. And he was a fireman when he was young. So he's got this really sweet, kind heart. But, when he moved, the whole plane would move. And sound guys are famous for hiding, because they just have to be out of frame.
Right.
But John is a fucking giant, so he forced a lot of close-ups because they had to frame John out. So that was always fun to see him because he had this friendly bear face, but he was a giant and moving around in there. It just couldn't be too serious. If it was like a real serious drama, it would have been a disaster. But John was always smiling and always early, and
Yes, very good.
Firemen make a lot of food jokes. He was a giant. He was like 6'5".
That's
Yes.
funny. Just ignore this giant post in the middle of the plane.
Yeah,
You know,
exactly.
Just dress him up as like a support post.
Max, you did so many close-ups. Is that because you like the close-up? He says, no, because John is such a big man. We have to frame out the sound man.
Let's put the 50. Let's put the 50.
Yeah.
50-50 shot.
No, but John Dio, very good guy. He's still a fireman. So,
He's still a fireman.
he's
I didn't
still a
realize.
fireman. Yeah, still a fireman. He took 2 weeks off for us. We shot the movie actually we're supposed to shoot in 15 days. We shot in 14 days. So
No, I thought we went over. Oh, no, we took days in the middle.
took days off. So Saturday off.
The middle, right, yeah.
See, that always surprises me. Even to this day, when you hear and I brought this up before, when you hear John Carpenter made like Halloween in 18 days back in 1978, that's amazing because they had to shoot it, develop it, process it, all that stuff. And nowadays they're still making movies like, oh yeah, we did it in 14 days. I'm like, okay, you
Yeah.
don't have to process all the video, but still, that's a lot to be getting done in 2 weeks.
When you have good actors, and a good crew, things happen. So,
Yeah.
I'm a sort of, slave driver, but they supported me. So it was good. It was good. So was a
I
mess.
think Casablanca was shot in 22 days, right?
Yes.
I mean, I do think that if the script is tight and the director knows every shot that he needs to tell a story, that's necessary to shoot so quick. You can't show up on the set and say, what am I going to do today? There can't be any of that stuff going on.
No.
You got to be all professionals. You may get lucky and find some kid out of film school who's been preparing to shoot his movie for 2 years. But once you start shooting, and
Hell.
Max is a cinematographer. Stefan is a cinematographer. So they knew. We didn't shoot anything that's not in the movie, really.
No, we shot all the scene, everything we
Except
shot.
for those scenes where you can see John's hand or you see.
Well, of course.
That we didn't mean to shoot, but you didn't find out because you thought it was tighter.
No, but I mean, it's still. I mean, even if you got the best director that knows his shots and all, you're still hoping that everything is going to go according to plan, and you're not going to have any not mistakes, but the camera's not going to screw up, the computer's not going to go down, the lights are going to be working. All that's got to flow, bang, bang, bang. So it's not just the director; it's the entire crew that's got to be on top of it.
Well, I have a very small crew. It's 3 people.
If something goes wrong, it could be a disaster, but nothing went wrong.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. It's just amazing that they shoot stuff so fast. When there's things that could, happen.
It's true. It's true. Big Hollywood.
Television, they shoot 54 minutes in 6 days.
Exactly. Exactly. And big production company.
I did 5 years of television. So I
3 months.
You show up and you be prepared.
Yeah. Still.
And hope nothing goes wrong.
Exactly. And big
amazing.
production company, like Spider-Man and this kind of big blockbuster, they're usually like 3-4 months shooting. So
yeah,
you have to make it do on what you have. I have a budget for 15 days, so I cannot screw one day. So it's and we finished 1 day early, so it's good.
But not having to deal with film nowadays and it being digital, that's got to be a
plus.
Big plus.
It's a plus. You don't have to wait for dailies. You don't have to worry about the focus if it's out of focus. So it's good.
The gate to make sure nothing's in there.
Exactly. So it's good. So,
well, I know that we got to get set up for the live show. So
okay.
I'm gonna end this here and say that if anybody wants to if anyone wants to follow you on social media, where can they find you, Max?
I think we'll be here, right? Something will appear here. Leo? No? Nothing will appear here. Okay. So you have to find me on Facebook with my full name, which is Massimiliano, which is very long. Massimiliano. Last name is Cerchi, which is Cerchi. Look for me. I have the same yellow glasses that I have now as my profile picture. And it's easier to follow Michael Pare because
I'm on Instagram, the official Michael Pare fan page. I'm trying to build. Instagram is supposed to be the new one. Facebook is easy. I'm Michael Pare, and on Twitter it's Michael Pare. But the official fan page of Michael Pare, I think, is it.
It's important.
What do you think is the biggest social media? What's the most important social media platform you guys think?
What I hear right now, Instagram. So, but I'm not on
Instagram seems to be blowing up right now. I'm not really involved with Instagram. I'm on Facebook. I'm on Twitter. I'm on YouTube. I'm on Tumblr. But Instagram seems to be the one that's blowing up.
I can't figure out how to get pictures on Instagram. If people send them to me and they post them, it's on. But I can't. Like if I click on somebody else's picture, like of of Mayday. I can't get the. Oh, I do have Mayday on Instagram.
Oh, you have
don't I?
Mayday on your. Yes, you do.
Ah,
You do.
okay. I
You
have a
the
lot of
poster.
pictures from Mayday. Well, how
Yes.
do they get on there? I didn't put them on.
Yeah,
That's
I-
the problem.
Magic. The magic of internet.
Well, those girls, Chanel and Sadie, knew all about this stuff.
Yeah, of course.
Sadie created my Instagram account.
Oh, I didn't know that. I didn't know that.
Yeah.
Change
well,
change password.
Yeah.
I wanna thank both Max and Michael for coming on Sit Down.
Thank you.
You know, it's great. We'll get to talk some more on the live show. And it's just as simple. If you want to follow Max, check him out on Facebook. You want to check out Michael, check him out on Instagram. For Michael and Max, I'm the 13th Wolfman, and I'm on the prowl.
I transform into a werewolf, and Mario Hemingway kills me. The bitch.
Yes.
Right.